Hey, welcome back. Session number 3. In this session, we're going to be looking at the vocals. We're going to be editing the vocals up, getting them ready to start working into our mix. I'm going to be talking about tidying up the rhythm of the vocals, making the rhythm nice and precise, and then tuning them as well. I'm going to do this with stock Logic plugins rather than any third-party plugins because it's really helpful for you to see how you can do it without having to splash loads of cash. So, without further ado, let's jump into this lead vocal. So I've got a lead vocal and I've got a double track. So let's just solo out the lead vocal for now. And let's have a little listen to what we're working with.
And I know you couldn't tell the truth to save your soul. And I know you will lead to my demise, but I just ignore.
Cool, seems like a pretty decent vocal performance. So that's great. Right, let's turn on our flex. Here we go. Now, in terms of what algorithm you want to set it to use, the logical one would be monophonic because it's a monophonic sound. But actually, oftentimes I find that working with the vocal polyphonic works. I don't know why. Maybe it's just something to do with the sound that the voice creates. Sometimes it's not so easy for it to pick up stuff if you put it in monophonic. Have an experiment between the two. Sometimes you just need to switch between the two to get the best feel. Now I don't like to quantize this automatically up here because with vocals I like to keep it a bit more natural. So I'll tend to put on my rhythmic element. So I'll put on my drums just so I know what the groove's doing, and then I'll go in and I'll sort of manually flex this out, right?
And I know.
And I'll start putting the things that I think need to be precisely on beats where I think they need to be.
And I know you couldn't tell. And I know you couldn't tell the truth. And you couldn't tell the truth to save your soul. You couldn't tell. I know you couldn't tell. I know you couldn't tell.
That's better.
I know you couldn't tell. I know you couldn't tell the truth to tell the truth to save your soul. Tell the truth to save your soul. Tell the truth to save your soul.
About there, I reckon.
Tell the truth, and I know you couldn't tell the truth, and I know you couldn't tell the truth to save your soul.
Cool, so you see what I'm doing there. I'm just making sure that I'm putting the most transient parts of that vocal performance on the groove where I think it needs to be. Sometimes I'm not quite right. I have to go back and just shift it around a little bit. But you see the process that I'm going through. So I'm going to go and do the rest of that lead vocal off screen and I'll be right back. Cool, so I've got that vocal all sort of tightened up in terms of its rhythm. Let me just play that through once for you all the way so you can hear what we've got.
And I know you couldn't tell the truth to save your soul. And I know you will lead to my demise, but I just ignore all the signs, and I'm not gonna wait for another heartbreak.
Cool, there you go. So as I've done previously with anything that I've been editing up, I'm going to commit to these. So I'm just going to split that region at a point where it's not going to make any difference, and then use J to join to commit those flex edits into the audio region. It creates a new audio region. So it's good to go. I can turn flex off of that track. Now, I need to do the double track, right? Now, normally I would use an awesome plugin called Vocaline. which is by Synchro Arts. It's amazing, but as I said, I'm going to do this with stock plugins, so I'm just going to have to flex this up in the same way. It's important now that I'm doing a double track that I use the initial lead vocal to reference the rhythm to, because I want to make sure the double track is as tight as I can get it, really. So I'm going to make sure that I've got both these tracks on, and I can actually lose the drums now because I'm just going to be referencing the lead vocal. Now, in order to help me differentiate between which ones I'm working with, just whilst I do this, I'm just going to pan one to the left and one to the right, just so that I can hear more easily in my ears which one I'm editing and which one is already fixed. So I've put the lead vocal that I've already kind of committed to towards the left, and the double track towards the right, just to help me differentiate between the two. And in exactly the same way, I'm going to go in and I'm going to start timing this up.
And I know, and I know you could, and I know you, and I know you.
So sometimes you just have to experiment a little bit, obviously, to find the right bit in the waveform that you need to be shifting.
And I know you could.
That's better. You hear how the tails on the no are different lengths.
Oh, you
This one feels a little bit longer to me.
oh, you
Hear how much better that is? This is what we had.
oh, you
And then just pull that in.
oh,
So much nicer.
oh, you couldn't.
What's the rhythm
Oh, you could.
on the beat?
Oh, you couldn't tell. Oh, you couldn't tell the truth. Oh, you couldn't tell the truth to.
What am I going to want there? Maybe that bit?
Couldn't tell the truth.
No. Let's try that bit.
Couldn't tell the truth to.
Better.
Couldn't tell the truth to save your soul. Couldn't tell the truth to save your soul. Couldn't tell the truth to save your soul.
Soul's a bit late there.
Couldn't tell the truth to save your soul.
Almost.
Your soul.
That's late. In the middle.
Your soul.
Is it that?
Your soul.
Nope. That was weird.
Your soul.
Which one's late?
Your soul.
Maybe
Your soul.
I think it's that actually.
Your soul.
Much better.
Your soul.
Cool. So there's the first phrase. I'll do the rest of it offline and I'll be right back with you. Cool. So I think I've done that. Let me just play you all the way through it so you can hear what it sounds like.
And I know you couldn't tell the truth to save your soul. And I know you will lead to my demise, but I just ignore all the signs, and I'm not gonna wait for another heartbreak.
Cool. Sounds good to me. Same thing. Let me commit to it. I'm just going to split the region. J for join. Commit to those edits that I've made. Beautiful. Now I've got these BVs here, so I'm going to do exactly the same process. So I'll do it off screen and I'll be right back once I've tidied them up. So I've done those. Here they are. Have a little listen to them.
And I know you couldn't tell the truth to save your soul. And I know you will lead to my demise, but I just ignore all the signs, and I'm not gonna wait for another heartbreak.
some slightly dodgy tunings in there, but at least rhythmically now, they're nice and precise. Again, commit. Great, so everything is in time for my whole project now, actually. Now what I'm going to go in and do is I'm going to tune up these vocals. So let's just take this lead vocal on its own. Let's put the flex back on and change it to flex pitch. And let's go in a little phrase at a time. Now what I like to do is just select all, put the pitch correction on 100 so it snaps it to the nearest notes, and then just go in and fine tune manually.
And I know.
And the thing is, right, what I'm not trying to do here is make it robotic or overly digital or anything. I still want it to sound natural. So, you know, I'm only looking for things that sort of stand out and go, that doesn't sound very nice. I'm not looking to, you know, remove all the vibrato from it and dehumanize it. I want it to sound like, you know, a nice natural performance. I'm just kind of trying to polish it because, you know, her vocal performance is pretty good, actually.
And I know.
Oh, I'm perfectly happy with that first phrase.
You couldn't.
Now, this is the thing that you get often with flex pitch in Logic, is you get this sort of glitchy, artifacty thing, which is really annoying. So you hear a little sort of gurgle around here.
You couldn't.
Not sure there's a great deal that I can do about that.
You couldn't tell the.
Tell you what I might do is, just so that I don't have that gurgle, because I don't want it in there, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to duplicate this region over. Obviously turn off.
You couldn't tell.
And then I can nick the little bit that is gurgling from the copy once I've sort of committed to all the other changes that I want to make. That's a little workaround.
You couldn't tell the truth to save your soul, save your soul, save your soul.
Quite like that little roll off at the end. That's all right.
Save your soul.
Again, you know, keeping it human.
And I.
What note is that supposed to be?
And I know you will lead.
Okay, so this right here needs to be split, right? So let's get our scissors and split.
You will lead. You will lead to. You will lead to.
I don't think I've split it in the right place, actually. So let's put it back. I think it needs to be split here.
You will lead to my demise, but
That's much better.
you will lead to my demise, but I just ignore all, 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 just ignore all the signs, and I'm not gonna wait. Just ignore all the signs, and I'm not gonna wait.
Another little gurgle there, so I'll come back and replace that.
For another heartbreak, another heartbreak, another heartbreak.
Cool. That's not bad, you know. Look, exactly the same thing. Split it, commit to it, right? Now, I can go back in, find those little gurgles, little gargles, and replace them.
And I know you couldn't tell the.
Right, here, couldn't.
You couldn't tell.
It's just on the couldn't, that bit. So let's grab that, copy it. Let's put some equal powers, crossfades.
Oh, you couldn't tell.
Beautiful. Am I in the best places?
Oh, you couldn't tell. Oh, you couldn't tell the truth to save your soul. And I know you will lead to my demise, but I just ignore all the signs, and I'm not gonna wait.
There we go, gunner.
And I'm not gonna wait.
So let's get rid of that there. Let's just copy this little bit up. Blend it in. How does that sound?
And I'm not gonna wait.
Very nice.
And I'm not gonna wait for another heartbreak.
Beautiful. Cool. So look, you know how I like to commit to things. Nothing wrong with those edits. So get embedded in. That's the copy that I don't need anymore. Great. Lead vocal done. So I'm going to go through, I'll tune the rest of the vocals up, the double track and the 2 BVs, and I'll be right back with you. Cool, so I'm just doing these BVs, and this male vocalist particularly is much more pitchy than she is. So I'm actually going to have to be a little bit more full on with my tuning. In particular, I'm going to be reducing the vibrato in the notes to tidy them up.
And I know, and I know, and I know.
So like this O on the end is dodgy.
And I know.
Better.
And I know.
Much better. Again, you know, still keeping it natural.
And I know. And I know.
Cool, fine. Right, we're good. I'm just going to commit to these edits here on my BVs. Excuse me, what am I doing? Pressing the wrong keyboard shortcut. J is what I want. Great. Cool, so we're now in the position where everything in our project is now in the best shape that it can be in order to work. I'm just going to double check all these vocals together just to make sure I haven't missed anything, that nothing is sticking out to me.
And I know you couldn't tell the truth to save your soul. And I know you will lead to my demise, but I just ignore all the signs, and I'm not gonna wait for another heartbreak.
Cool, sounds great to me. So far, so good. Right, so there we go for this session. Next session, we're going to be starting to actually get into mixing this thing. Now that everything's ready, now that we're all edited, we're all in time, we're all tuned, we can start working on the mix. I'll see you back in the next one. If you're liking these videos, please do me a favour, hit like and follow, and leave me a nice comment. Ask me any questions that you like. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, bye.